Tail of the tape for this bout. Ibra is 20 years of age, Nacho Campos 28. Campos the taller fighter here with the longer reach on both arms and legs.
In the lead up to tonight's Battle of the Giants World Title fights, we'll stay right here in the early card in the featherweight division for a battle of the unbeatens. Set now for 3 5-minute rounds. Introducing first out of the blue corner at 5'10", weighing in 145 3/4 pounds, making the step up for his first PFL fight. He's bringing his undefeated professional record of 5-0, fighting out of Madrid, Spain, Nacho Campos. His adversary now in the red corner at 5'8", weighing in 145 1/2 pounds, coming off a 50-second submission victory in his PFL Europe debut tonight. He stands undefeated as a professional, 7 wins without a loss, originally from Dagestan. He's fighting out of Manchester, England, Ibragim, the Mauler Ibragimov. And your referee in charge, Dan Mergliata.
Big Dan Mergliata to oversee the action in this featherweight affair. Nacho Campos in the black trunks, Ibragim Ibragimov in the green.
All right, gentlemen, you ready, sir? You ready, sir?
5-0 versus 8-0. One man tastes professional defeat for the first time. Campos in the southpaw stance.
Hard inside low kick straight away from Ibra. The real question is, can Nacho Campos stay on his feet if Ibra decides to put him on the canvas? I mean, all the noises coming out of every single gym that Ibra walks into is that nobody can stop him, just mauling them into the floor. And we saw that in his PFL Europe debut against the veteran in Josh Reed. Be interesting to see how he deals with this undefeated prospect in front of him now.
Giving up a little bit of size to Nacho Campos. You can see both men weighed in, of course, below the limit. Nice double elbow.
Yeah, that was a good elbow to the side of the head. Ibra can't hang out here with these elbows. He's gonna have to keep hustling for this takedown. He's trying to get his fingertips together in this body lock. He's giving us a smile and a wink in the commentary booth.
Campos doing a good job with his left hand, stopping the progress of Ibra to lock those hands together.
That was a good knee to the midsection and a good shoulder strike to boot.
There's the trip. He's trying to pull him off the cage, get his hips off so he can find a way to take those legs out from underneath him, is Ibra.
Man, the physicality of for a 20-year-old young man, it's incredible, really.
Doesn't even have his old man strength yet, and already pushing against this barrier.
Oh, nice inside trip.
Right down into the closed guard of Nacho Campos. Clever work with the elbow from the bottom position there for Campos, but now Ibra climbing to a better control position. Good work by Campos, though, to get his knees back under him.
Yeah, and he's doing what he can here just to keep striking at Ibra. Trying to stuff the head, break the posture. Ibra's bound the legs, as we've seen from many of these Dagestan fighters. When they get clamped onto those leg irons, there's not a great deal that you can do about it. He's got the wrap around the back, still with a smile on his face. He's asking as if we could in the commentary booth. Man, I wish I was that relaxed when I was fighting. But this strength, this physicality here that you can see, coupled with the beautiful technique. Grab of the fence there by Nacho, caught by Dan Mergliata. Now it looks like back exposure.
Be careful, giving up his back here if he gets an anchor in.
He might be going for a ride here if he's not careful, Nacho.
Sorry, Dan, it's so fascinating because everybody does it against these Dagestani wrestlers. You know you're not supposed to turn your back. You know you're not supposed to try to crawl into that referee's position, but you have to get your legs back. And so everybody does it. And again, the pressure from Ibra. That return.
And he's got the wrist trapped as well. Look at that. That's going to slow Nacho's ability to scramble. And now he's got wrist control behind the back, the old Dagestani handcuff.
That seatbelt position. One hook in now from Ibra. Can he get the second hook in and secure that back position?
Under 2 minutes here in the second battle of the evening here at Battle of the Giants. Scan the QR code in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen to buy the pay-per-view. Only way you can see our main card tonight.
Ibra's got the body triangle.
Yeah. Jinx, you owe me one.
I'll give you whatever you want, Randy Couture, don't hurt me. It's a tight body triangle. He's got that double bind as well. He's got hooked under the thigh. He's landing some good strikes here. I mean, Nacho's not going to quit here. He's going to keep a hold of that undefeated record best he can. He's trying to twist the big toe off.
Trying to get that body triangle off.
No small joint manipulation in the rules of mixed martial arts.
Grab all the toes. You can't just grab one.
This little piggy, not allowed.
This is great control by Ibra. And this top position is much better for him because, this is getting closer to a rear naked choke here. Nacho's doing a good job hand fighting. He's keeping his chin tucked.
Nacho's hand control is really, really good. He's doing a great job of protecting that neck. Ibram goes back to soften him up.
Great control from behind for Ibra. Good shots here landed by Nacho, though. Like any opportunity he gets to pepper his opponents, he is.
And somehow does it without exposing himself to more risk, which is one of the big things you have to worry about when you try and sneak a strike or two in positions like this.
A dominant first round here from Ibra. And a real wake-up call potentially for Nacho, who's going to go back to his corner in 10 seconds and find out what their advice is. How do you deal with this guy?
Got a nice ear hole there. Got that elbow right in the ear.
Campos back to his feet in the final seconds. Ibragim Ibragimov in the green, Nacho Campos in the black. Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, hosting Battle of the Giants. Sean O'Connell, Dan Hardy, Randy Couture here cage side. A clash, good knee to the midsection from Campos, who's now going to try this Kimura grip to try and stop another Ibragim Ibragimov takedown.
Well, he knows how desperate this fight gets once he hits the floor. He's gonna have to try and defend these all. Oh, and now he's taking the back here of Ibra.
Ibra's in on a low single and Campos stepped over. Got one hook in.
Kind of a reversal of roles here now if Campos could stay on the top. But Ibra drags his right arm out, hooks over the leg. These elbows, though, to the side of the head can't feel good from Nacho Campos.
Campos in the black. Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, hosting Battle of the Giants. Sean O'Connell, Dan Hardy, Randy Couture here cage side. A clash, good knee to the midsection from Campos, who's now going to try this Kimura grip to try and stop another Ibragim Ibragimov takedown.
Well, he knows how desperate this fight gets once he hits the floor. He's gonna have to try and defend these all. Oh, and now he's taking the back here of Ibra.
Ibra's in on a low single and Campos stepped over. Got one hook in.
Kind of a reversal of roles here now if Campos could stay on the top. But Ibra drags his right arm out, hooks over the leg. These elbows, though, to the side of the head can't feel good from Nacho Campos.
Campos digging that right underhook, and now he'll try to switch to a choke. Ibra takes advantage of that opportunity, collects the legs, and once again, successful takedown.
Good second and third effort by Ibra to secure the takedown. Stepping over the ankles now, secure those legs.
Look at that leg bind that he's got. But the triangle around the legs, which not only keeps both of the legs trapped together, but also is keeping hip pressure down into the top side of the knees, forcing the legs to stay straight. It's almost like a double knee bar. You're not going to get a tap from it, but it's certainly going to make it difficult to scramble. Like the effort that Nacho had to use to withdraw that leg from that position shows you how tight this control is.
The problem with that fence right behind you, you can't create any space to get your legs out of there.
And what you can see here, you can see Ibra's hand just starting to creep around the back again. Here we go again with the bind. Nacho flat on the seat of his pants. He needs to start getting onto one hip. He needs to try and get one of those legs free. But Ibra extending his body, extending his hips into the top of those knees, keeping those leg irons in place. And the danger here, of course, is as soon as Nacho Campos decides to scramble, he's got to A, put a hand down on the mat, which can be trapped, and B, potentially give his back as he's standing up.
Looked like Campos was maybe campaigning for a stand-up here, but a dominant position right now for Ibragim Ibragimov.
And here comes the back exposure again. Very systematic work by Ibra.
Campos doing his job, getting to his feet. Got to be disheartening to get pulled right back down to the mat, though.
A lot of work for minimal reward.
If he's looking at Dan Mergliocta for wrestling tips, I don't think he's going to get him in the fight. Like, frustrating, but you've got to be able to do something about this position. I mean, I've been stuck in this position. I'm sure you guys have had in the gym as well. Like, it's such a debilitating position, but now Ibra can sit back and start to thump those punches into the midsection, which can drain your conditioning as well.
Campos has to pick a side, go to a hip, try and wiggle a leg out of there, get his legs back in this fight, create some space, create a scramble, and get back to his feet.
Dan, you called the work by Ibra systematic earlier, and it really is. I mean, this is a blueprint that has been set by Khabib Nurmagomedov, Islam Makhachev, many of these fighters out of Dagestan. Ibra has been very clear in wanting to improve upon that by using this to then get finishes. So far, in 7 pro fights, he's only had 1 go to a decision, 3 knockouts, 3 submissions. He uses this pressure to suck the soul out of an opponent, and then he goes in for the kill.
And he's looking for that wrist control again. Here he goes, he catches it. Oh, just for a second. See, Nacho's wise to it. Nacho keeps pulling his arm out of that position. He knows the danger, but that was a huge shot.
Yeah, you definitely don't want that bottom arm trapped in that seatbelt position. You have one hand to protect your head, especially with elbows in play.
Nacho back to his feet, but for how long? Oh, beautiful movement around the legs.
Nice reshot. Great reshot by Ibrahim.
I have to be honest, I'm very impressed with the resilience and the wrestling defense of Nacho. I know he's in bad positions, but he's not being exposed in ways that many other opponents have against Ibragim Ibragimov. Most of the time he takes people down, irons them into the canvas, and then chokes them out. But obviously, Nacho's putting up a real good fight here.
The gas tank on display from both of these guys. There's a lot of hustle from Ibra to stay on top, and so much hard work with very little reward for Nacho. Beautiful short elbows
Campos,
here from
nice.
Nacho Campos to close round 2. Ibragimov in the green, Campos in the black. England versus Spain in our second bout of the evening.
Campos with a couple of nice shots right at the end of the second round. Good to see a little desperation out of him.
Yeah, Ibra's got to be careful of those elbows, and especially those knees on the way in as well. He got caught with one really good one in that second round.
Campos wants to get to that plum, that Muay Thai plum, bring those knees and that elbow. A really nice elbow on the break there at the end of the second round as well by Campos. Switch attempt by Campos here.
Which wasn't quite quick enough with the transition from that chin strap over to the other side of the body, and Ibra felt it and took his legs away straight away.
Ibram stepping over those ankles again. Take those feet and legs away from Campos.
Man, driving that elbow into the back of the neck, trying to make it very uncomfortable for Ibra, keep his posture broken. Same again though, Nacho stuck both legs, looking at the referee, pleading for something to change, but he's the one that's got to instigate the change, I'm afraid.
Yeah, he's got to pull Ibram off like a stocking,
right?
And get his legs back in this fight.
That's a heavy stocking.
Yeah.
What kind of stockings are you guys wearing?
But this is why I call this position the leg irons, right? because you just can't do anything with your legs once you're here. You're dragging your opponents around every time you move, and straight away turn out of desperation and you give your back.
Nice job by Campos to get one hook out, turn into it now. Can he get to his feet before Ibrahim takes control again? Ibrahim stays on those hips, just smothering him, blanket riding over him, not allowing him any room to breathe.
It's good to see Ibra push like this. Not many fighters around, especially from Europe, can withstand this kind of pressure that we're seeing. It's actually giving me excitement about the future of Nacho Campos' career, because he's going to be a dangerous person to deal with, regardless of whether he wins or loses here. 3 minutes left in this last round, and Ibra has been all over him.
DAZN.com or scan the QR code on your screen to buy the pay-per-view tonight. Pay-per-view portion of the card coming shortly. Francis Ngannou, Reina Fajeda in the main event, as Francis makes his long-awaited return to the sport of mixed martial arts after being away in the boxing world.
I think Ibra's going to hop towards the left here and circle his opponent towards the right if they stay in this position. Shucks him forward.
Back elbows.
He just seems unfazed, though, by those elbows,
No,
right?
none of the striking has seemed to bother him in the slightest.
2 minutes to work with the body triangle in position. It's not the ideal position, though. He would much rather be the other side up, the foot on the top side. Far more limited movement here with the body triangle, with the triangled foot on the bottom side against the canvas, as you can see it is here with Nacho.
Again, good hand control by Campos.
I think we're going to see Ibra boss himself to the top position here. Look, if he can get top position with the body triangle, he can start to extend his opponent. I mean, there's potentials for a variety of different submissions here, but with that body triangle locked in, you don't really want to let go and start attacking an arm or a reverse triangle, because it's such a dominant position that he's already got. And he also knows that Nacho's starting to run out of clues. Coming up to a last minute, he's still pleading with the referee to do something about him being stuck in this position. And look, those tattoos all over the back of Nacho Campos, that tells me that he is a Thai boxer.
Sure.
This is not a position that he wants to be in.
Well, for a Thai boxer, he's sure got some good ground skills.
Right.
He protected himself well. He knew exactly where he was at, where he needed to be to scramble out of a lot of those positions. He's just dealing with a superior wrestler in a lot of those situations.
A lot of those Muay Thai camps in Thailand have turned very much into MMA camps, welcoming lots of the strong wrestlers in to work on their striking.
We spoke to Brendan Loughnane earlier tonight, training right there.
Man, strong performance here from Ibragim Ibragimov. Takes mount position.
All the way to the mount. Nacho Campos on the defensive here in round 3. And for much of this fight, some elbows from Ibra in that top position in the final few seconds. And there's the final bell.
Ladies and gentlemen, having gone the distance, we'll go now to your 3 judges at cage side. Sal D'Amato, Mark Collette, Hadi Ali. All 3 have it exactly the same at 30-27, all for the winner by unanimous decision. Still undefeated, Ibragim, the Mullet Ibragimov.